Hello fans, we're here with Boston Desi Connection TV, and we're here with the filmmaker of tonight's film, The Lost City of Z.
Hello, I'm James Gray. I'm the writer and director of this movie, so I'm fully to blame.
And I know this has been an incredible journey for you. I heard that tomorrow, New York, LA, and then nationwide. How does that feel?
Terrifying. It's horrifying. I mean, I've never had a movie play in a bajillion theaters before, so I don't know what it feels like, really. I'm scared.
You're scared? Well, so Boston is the sort of preview of your film, essentially.
Well, yes and no. I feel like I've been on this journey, which has gone Berlin and Paris and London. I mean, it's sort of a high-class problem, but I've traveled around the world with the movie. I was there, yes, and that was fantastic.
And I wanted to ask you, tell us a little about your film. I mean, it's based on history, a historical novel.
Yeah, well, it's not a novel. It's a true story about a guy from England who was sent down to South America, and he was sent originally to make a map of the border between Bolivia and Brazil. But of course, very quickly after that, he started hearing stories about a lost city with gold and all this other thing, and he became obsessed with finding a lost city in the middle of the Amazon jungle.
Did he actually find it?
I'm not telling you that.
Was it full of gold?
I'm not telling you that either. What do you mean? You got to see the picture.
Well, exactly. We have to see the picture, but it has this sort of folklore or legend. How did you hear about it?
I had been sent the book. The producer, Mr. Brad Pitt, and Jeremy Kleiner and Didi Gardner, his producing partners, they sent me the book out of the blue. I didn't understand why they called me about it, to be honest. It was a very strange thing, but anyway, they called me up, and I decided I would make a movie. I can't believe I just saw somebody great. He's great. Yes, he's great.
Both of them look amazing, huh?
I love that. This is, by the way, like making a movie in Brighton Beach.
It is, yeah.
People walk right walking the camera and they don't really care. It's great. I'm used to this.
So have you been to India?
I have. I think it's an amazing place. I've been to Agra, Delhi, Jaipur, Udaipur, Mumbai, Varanasi, and I also took a trip. That same trip was a very lengthy trip. It was about a month, all through India, and it was one of the great experiences of my life.
And how do you identify with India in terms of any influences in some of your work, or?
The first exposure I had to movies made outside the United States, the first, was the Apu trilogy. And I had no idea I'm being serious, I had no idea what they were. I saw basically the world of Apu by accident. I had heard about it and I thought, oh, that sounds good. And next thing I know, I mean, he's one of my favorite filmmakers of all time, so I think the answer is obviously I've been inspired.
And now that we see a lot of they call it the crossover,
right.
From Priyanka Chopra to now Deepika Padukone coming in.
Yeah. Can you talk about that? It's the inevitable and proper flow of culture back and forth now. Hollywood was a very insular place, and Bollywood was very insular in its own way. And now we've got this cross-pollination, and it's a beautiful thing.
And it's fascinating with this cross-pollination. We're seeing things erupt on so many levels. Would you consider going the other way, going back to India?
In a heartbeat. A good friend of mine, his name Wes Anderson, he went off to India to make a movie. And I think that if I made a film, I were lucky enough to make a film in India, it would be probably something quite different from what Wes did. But it holds a great allure. It's weird too because there are a lot of people from either the United States or Europe who go to India to make films, and sometimes they come out with something magnificent. Jean Renoir's film *The River* is one of the great films ever made. So it's a challenge, that's for sure.
But interesting thing is, with Indian cinema, there's so many. Everyone thinks it's Bollywood, but it's actually not just Bollywood.
No, that's true. That's very true. That's true. I'm just like Hollywood isn't only the American film scene. That's absolutely true. We use Hollywood as a general term and Bollywood as a general term. Hollywood is not even Hollywood anymore. Almost no movies are made in Los Angeles. And New York has Atlanta. They make movies. So it's that way around the world. You're quite right.
And I think that, with these film festivals and traveling and everything, you've gotten a myriad of questions about what were some of the funniest questions questions you've received are the most challenging?
Most challenging questions. They usually come down to questions about the meaning of the movie, because I always like to leave that open for the audience, and so it's hard for me to answer them. Plus, I can't really be. If I'm too frank, then I tell them what I tried to do, and then the magic is gone. And if I don't answer them at all, they get very angry. So, in a way, what the movie means is the most challenging.
Well, you were really witty in there when you introduced the film.
Was I? That's nice of you to say. Well, thank you. You're a very nice man. Witty?
Witty.
I try.
You have to be in these sort of classes.
Oh my God.
Questions coming at you.
Well, I try to have a sense of humor about it, because the worst thing in the world is to come to a festival and have such a seriousness and you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I was disabused of that notion a long time ago.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of our interview. Boston Desi Connection TV and Bollywood.
Dances. You know, I have to say that the first Bollywood movie I ever saw was Manmohan Desai's movie Mard, M-A-R-D. Do you know that movie? And they have this musical number. Will you marry me? No, no, sorry, G. I remember it.
There you go.
In 30 years, I remember it.
So Bollywood has influenced you in some level.
I remember him lassoing a plane. You know, he was pulling the plane back. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about the Indian film industry, is that it's funny. My barber is from Morocco, and he remember Amitabh Bachchan.
Oh well, but he's a legend.
Yeah. And you know the Russian community, because India, Russia as well, South America. So it is like that one global brand that brings everyone together. Kind of fun. Crosses over all identities and countries. So, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we're pleasure to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.